issues or misinformation that may be out there, or misunderstandings of what this process involves. The first thing we're after is water rights. Okay? It's a legal doctrine. It means that when you have a water right, you don't own the water. We're not after ownership of any water because we can't corral it, we can't dam it up, and we can't say it's ours. Most of us are going to be gone one day, right? We're not going to be on this earth. The water is still going to flow. The water will still be here.
Hopefully.
At that time, other people will claim rights to it. Those that may be our children. Other people that may immigrate here, or other people that may come to Arizona to live, and so forth. So when you address a water right issue, you're not talking about owning it. What you're talking about is a legal right to use water. And that's what we're after here, is the Navajo Nation, its representatives, the leadership, is trying to secure a right to use water from the Little Colorado River. We're not talking about other river basins. We're only talking about the Little Colorado River in the state of Arizona. This discussion, or the settlement, and the Senate bill is not about the lower Colorado River. It's not about the Colorado River in the upper basin. It's not about the San Juan River in Utah. It's only about the Little Colorado River basin in the state of Arizona. That's what this settlement is about. And the way you get the right to use the water is a long process you must go through. We all assert claims. We all say, I have a right to use that water. But in reality, your right is not legally recognized until you go through a process. And you approach the proper forum, and in this case, it's a court. And a court will recognize and adjudicate who has rights in a water basin. So all of the users will come out of the woodworks when they're doing a water adjudication and say, I have a claim to use this water. And you really don't have a right until the judge makes a decree. So that's the process we're going through. And when you go to the judge, or when you go to court to assert your claims, like everything else, you have to produce evidence. You go to court, you produce all kinds of evidence. Every person that's in that litigation has to produce their evidence to quantify what kind of rights they have. In addition to producing evidence, you also have to rely on the laws. It's a legal proceeding. Some of the laws that a lot of people seem to mischaracterize or not understand is the Federal Reserve water rights. There are laws such as the Winters Doctrine. Some people say it's a Winters rights. We have rights to the water based on the Winters Doctrine. You use the Winters Doctrine as a law. You say the Winters Doctrine is a law that says that Indian tribes have certain kinds of claims, and that's what the Winters Doctrine is. So don't assume that because there's a Winters Doctrine that we already have existing rights. You don't have rights until you go through the litigation process and a court enters a decree, and then a court will determine how much of that water that each claimant can legally have a right to use. So that's the process we're in. And in this process of litigation, sometimes the parties will say, well, I may get a more favorable result if we do a settlement rather than the court making the determination or the judge making the determination. The parties get together over here and the parties try to strike a settlement deal. And that's what this settlement is. The Navajo Nation is a party to this adjudication on the lower Little Colorado River or on the Little Colorado River. Okay. And the Hopi tribe, the state of Arizona, all the cities and towns and the water users upstream. And you go to court and you try to use the laws to validate how much of a claim you really have. And remember, you don't have a right until after the court enters the decree. And what the right gives you the ability to do is preclude other people from infringing on the rights that you have. You can go to court if somebody upstream from you tries to use the water that you have a right to use. You can go to court and say, I have this right, I want to preclude this guy from using my water. So that's how this process works. Now, there's one thing that happens when you do a settlement agreement. In every settlement, when you go to court, the parties will, let's say it's just between two people. There's some claim of some sort, and two people will be litigating against each other. They have counterclaims and so forth. When they enter into a settlement, normally what they'll say is, we're going to waive a right to ask for more. So, realistically, what you're waiving is a claim. You have a certain claim. In most cases, if you're driving your truck and they hit you and you sue them for the value of your truck, you say, my truck is worth $10,000. And they countersue you saying, you drove in front of me, you're at fault. You ruined my truck because you made me run into you. So they have counterclaims. When you do the settlement, you each will say, okay, one guy says, yeah, my value of my truck is $10,000, but this guy says, I'll accept $5,000. And if that happens, and you enter into a settlement agreement, a legal document, what normally happens is you also say, okay, my truck was really worth 10, I'm going to waive the right to ask for more, which is the extra 5,000. So that's a normal practice in settlements. So a lot of people are claiming that we're waiving things that we have a right to. We're not waiving any rights. That's why the discussion was here, is we're not waiving any rights because right now our rights aren't acknowledged by a proper legal form. We're going through the process to acknowledge our rights. So what we're doing is we have claims and we're waiving our claims. So that's the process that we're going through now. And I wanted to kind of clear up that misnomer I think that folks have about what winners' rights are. It's a doctrine that says these are the laws that Indian tribes can utilize to assert a claim to certain waters surrounding their reservations or running through their reservations. And you actually don't have a right until the court enters a decree at the end, and then at that time you will have what you refer to as a water right. So right now, the Navajo Nation does not have any water rights on the Little Colorado River. We do use water in the Little Colorado River, but they're unvalidated. Their uses, sure, they're historic uses, and we can use those also as the basis of our claim. But as I said, the right does not exist until the litigation ends. A court enters a decree. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to avoid the judge from making a determination. And on this hand over here, the parties are trying to enter into a settlement agreement. So that's what this process is about. I just wanted to come up and clarify that. And you've all heard the presentation on some of the other specifics. So that's the end of my discussion on this. Thanks for listening.
Don't sell out, the crowd says. Don't sell out.
So those things you want to up from this Luba. You can stand over here. It's better if you're away from the speaker. Again, now for the survey, they have issues of me. 2 minutes. 2 seconds. it's only $3. Don't have it at all done. Fast ever now was it there. Had now she called, where are they? We've been here before the white people. Fast ever thing done here though. We've been here before the white people. We are originally belong to this land and the water. Where all they protect now? They are just our visitors.
Yeah.
Why are they telling us what to do? There's other options that we could go to. Educated kids with the Egypt. I think there's a way.
Yeah.
Let's go for what white man is telling us what to do. You can slap please Okay, next we have on the list Larry Anderson Sr. I think we have a right to speak what is in our mind. They had 2 hours to describe and give us a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So I'd like to take a motion by council for 5 minutes. But I know in the council chambers we used to be given 5 minutes. We can say it now, we can interpret it in English also. I think maybe that's important. We have a lot of young people here that are well educated, and I see some of them with their charts over there. I'm concerned. One of them is that we have a lot of police officers, and thank heavens for them being here on the nation, but they don't need to be here to guard us. We are people.
Yeah!
And this is intimidation. You know, I saw a young lady at the store, and she said, "What's going on? Is there an accident?" I said, "No, it's the water rights." And she says, "I'm afraid to go over there." I said, "Come on over anyway. I think we can resolve everything." Franz, In Little Patrick County, we have one sheriff. That's all we need. You know, that's all we need. We don't need very many people. Police officers, I'm not putting them down in any way. But I think future meetings, we need to practice and we are all related. We're all taking care of each other. So we don't have to have that. And it's intimidating to have a wand and say, where's your knife? See that? But anyway, as she said, I have my watermelon knife. I'm not afraid to be out there in Washington either. So I think the 5-minute deal, we need to review that, and I request that the President's office and whoever it is sponsoring this forum, make it a whole day. When you are discussing an important issue, water, this is a very important topic for the nation. So we need to spend a day or more, maybe 2 days. We also need a bigger building. I'm very concerned that we have our individuals standing up in the back. We need a bigger building. Isn't there a building there in Shinli where people come and watch the basketball teams play? Donado, you have a pavilion. I know that we in the council allowed that to be built. And then also the transparency of this forum. Who are the water commissioners? I'm very concerned. Are they here? I didn't see them being introduced except for the two gentlemen, Mr. Gilmore, that gave his presentation. I don't know if they've gone to the chapter meetings. I haven't seen that at the chapter meetings. Then also, is there a timeline? Why are we in a rush? It seems that we're rushing. But Betsy's over here ready to chase me off here, but I'm not ready to go.
Yeah! All power to the people.
And John Kyle, who is John Kyle? What is his history? What did he do before? Did he have something to do with water rights? He's retiring. Maybe that's why they're rushing it. You know, there's a lot of questions that people are asking. Let's ask those questions. What does he have? What does he stand to gain? Who's John McCain? What is his history? So those are some things that we have questions on. I don't know if you can answer those. Then I have 4 suggestions. Remember, you always have suggestions or recommendations, and I'll make it real quick. One is we have leaders on the nation. We even have Leonard Haskell here, our interim chairman. He knows a lot. We have Milton Bluehouse, also the president. We have our vice here. Mr. Rex Jim. We have Peterson Zong, we have Peter McDonald. You know, we need all those individuals to get together and come up with some solutions. Maybe they know more than we do on some areas. The other thing is the Navajo Nation Council. We have a lot of former delegates here. Let's bring them together. Let's have them look at this item also. And lastly, most important, I think, we need a citizens' water rights group.
Yeah.
Not just the water commission that we have. Let's get people from the 5 agencies, see what they think. And then lastly, I put a call to all Navajo people, all experts, any individuals that have a degree in water-related issues, maybe lawyers. We've spent millions of dollars from the Navajo Nation telling our young people, get your degree. Let's call them back and let them help us.
Yeah.
Then we need to continue these types of public information. I think if we let the people know more, give them more time, maybe they'll agree with what we're saying here. Maybe there's some things we can modify. Or maybe it's not the right thing for us. Because I have my children, my grandchildren's life at stake. That's why I think we have a right to say things. So we are at the fork. And we're standing here. Do we go to the left? Do we go to the right? Do we go forward? I think we just need more information, and so I don't think we need to be afraid of each other. I will get it, I will clap each other. And then here, if people want to clap, that's fine with me. If you want to yell at, different things, that's okay. That's up there on the stage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And under the translation, I think that's something that we need to do, both now and English. I think it's important. Thank you, Becky. As a politician, we have Larry Foster on Larry Foster is here.
Yeah.
Larry Foster? No? Okay, next we have Mr. Hale.
And then the speaker comes up and says, that's a politician for you.
Speak now.
No, that's not a politician for you.
Okay, he's going to wait, and we have Paula, the next LC. Is Pauline the next LC here? Pauline, you're next. Please be considerate of other people as well, because there's a lot of people that would like to speak. We're just facilitating here, and the water conditions are here. We have two gentlemen that are here. And then we have Wallace Hanley, you're next after Holly.
Ja, det question of Jameson. Czyli pomiędzy Sosi, kiedyś mężczyzn, ani bezpieczeństw. Między tonem jest wywołany nasza. Cała tam jest przodem. I became national assistant up to every meeting. No questions and directly the Kardashian. Koko Fishingona, the Kiri Daya, Lago, Shimani, Zadisha, Shadon, Shadisha. Koko Senator Cloud. I started to some notes. He said, made that statement when he was introducing the legislation from that Navajo Nation, and he says, Imperial Valley of California to the Las Vegas strips will be able to take comfort. That they spent years, that they can take comfort in the development that they spent years to develop, that they will no longer worry about the Navajo Nation. And it's really addressing that they're all the economic well-being of all these parties. If we settle this, it involves like 36 parties, and that's stated in the settlement. And I often wonder why SRP is adopted. They have claims in this settlement. So that is my major concern. We say amendment doesn't, that we need to amend this settlement. I say that we need to put it aside and start over. So this is a major benefit to the non-Indians. They kind of consider us that we're in the way, because they settled with the Apache tribe already, Gila, and those all have claims. In the McCarran Amendment, we say we use that date 1952, that was introduced, but by 1984, Senator Kyle, as an SRP lawyer, argued that case, and he took it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Wow.
That is what this river, the Indian, not the Indian, but the water rights, that we would have to take the tribes into state court. But in the state courts, we're being reassured that they'll use federal laws. And that we can use federal laws, meaning winner's doctrine. I think it seriously impairs that. I have
my reasons for wanting to go back to court too. But the way I understand it is that when the settlement is done, we don't know. I mean, we're not going to quantify, we don't know what the allocations are. We're just giving some of the acre feet. And I know that looking at the documents, the aquifers, we have to be careful in how much water is pumped. And really defend the health of it. Already I noticed that on the page in the presentation, and I checked the number, on the Hopi side, they have a plan to pump 1,500 acre feet a year, and that is like 300 acre feet more than what Peabody is pumping. And Peabody said it was 1,200 acre feet. And so we have to be aware. And also Peabody already has 9 wells that they have drilled. Because thinking, why are they planning to drill 1,500 acre feet in the aquifer? And the other thing is that I said when I explained that we also have Navajo, Hopis too. We have the Indian Alatis, Navajo Alatis, Hopi Alatis. And I don't know how many of you in here have allotments. I know my family does in Western, and we have springs on it. And I really battle to get, we have protection. But how are we involved with the land status? It seems like we're just also thrown under the bus with this. And so for all you will please be aware that you also have tanks for water to develop your land too. And that we have the same status as the Navajo Nation. So the other part, I'm sorry, but I've asked the water department, they're always saying that we don't have money and to develop new water. So one of our suggestions is that to our leaders, that we need to address this. We need to start putting away money, putting money aside for the water development. And I just been telling the people, if you live around areas, just start drilling and they make your wells. I'm going to Navajos that have their own wells. And they use their own money. So you have that too. So there's many more to say, but thank you guys. Thank you, Robin.
Earlier there was asked if this is the last forum. This is not the last. The water commissioners sponsored, I believe it was 90 hearings throughout the nation. So this is not the last. So they're going to continue after this. I know the president has asked to do this for 7 communities. He's asked to help the water commissioners. So that's why the president is sponsoring this. And but following this, it will continue. They're going to continue the education. And the next we have Irma. I'm sorry. I believe we have, is Irma here? Okay, Wallace. Why don't we have Wallace first, and then we'll have Irma.
Give me a break. All right. Y'all watch your Yeah. It's not hot. Okay.
And all of you here, we do have some very serious concerns. I know they've already been mentioned in other areas and also before our house. I won't repeat any of those. I do stand behind you on the concerns that were brought up. Senate Bill 2109 needs to be repealed. I would like to make a motion and recommend to the administration, to the council, that they reject Senate Bill 2109. And all I'm going to do is, I have written letters and I see some of my concerns regarding the bill and the water rights. I know the Water Rights Commission, but I have only talked to one and knew no only one, Ray Gilmer. And I don't cover the others here, but I never did know they were on the Water Commission. Now, secondly, as you know, all the information that's being given to the Water Commission, to the council, was put together by Stanley Cola, the water attorney. Totally wrong, totally misinformation. A letter that came up today is doubtful and much questionable that he has submitted. Again, I ask and your support and recommend to the council, to the administration, that this individual be removed immediately. All vote for this. And I reserve the balance of my time to Larry Foster.
Thank you. We have p91fun. Are you ready to answer some questions? Okay. We'll have them respond to some questions. Mr. Gilmore? There will be time for response, Lisa. Thank you.
And that's only not even half the people that belong here. Water Rights Commission and they did city told me the